Hey guys, it's Peter with Lost Angler, and buddy of mine, Mitchell Westovich, he asked me to do a video on what you need to get time, because he went to Bass Pro Shops and he went looking around, and there's lots of different vices and tools you can do, but you can spend $300 easily. And I was like, dude, I don't have that much invested in most of my tying stuff. I mean, in materials and all, sure, I've got way too much invested, undoubtedly, but here's the basic start on what you need to get started tying. First off, a good vise. And by good vise, I mean you don't have to pay a lot for it. It doesn't have to be a peak, man. I go into Bass Pro Shops, I picked this up. It's fish nets. It's made in India. You know, it's not super nice, man. But I tell you what, it's everything you need. It's even a rotary vise. I mean, so you can use it for complex flies. Comes with 3 different sets of jaws and the whole 9 yards. And I've used this particular vise right here, same one, for, I don't know, I guess about a year or 2 now. And I've tied hundreds of flies. I don't really know if it does that well for tiny little dry flies and little nymphs and such, but I don't tie those, so it really doesn't make me any difference. So for warm water and saltwater flies, yeah, 20 bucks is all I needed to get going just fine. Plenty of great flies right here. Alright, the next little tool you're going to need after you've got a decent vise, and this one will mount with this clamp, will mount right here. Now, I went ahead and opted to spend $20 extra. April got this for me. It's just, you just pick it up and move it around. I can move my tine to wherever I want to. I can't remember what they call these. Probably a fly tying station or something. And it just sits down right here, keeps all my tools in order. But the biggest thing about it is it puts the vise closer to eye level. And by putting it closer to eye level, I'm not hunched down and stooped over and my back doesn't hurt. So I like that a lot. Now, a lot of the first tools I got came with a simple tying kit. But you can go to Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's or the Orvis store, wherever you got local, your local shop, and get whatever you need. You need a bobbin. And if you notice right here, this is clear thread, clear nylon thread from Walmart. It's like $1.30 a spool, but I can tie any fly I want to with it, and never have to worry about it matching the right colors for everything. Hackle pliers. Cheap set, probably paid $2-3 for them. Okay. Now that being said, if you do want to a fairly nice bobbin when you're looking at it, try to avoid the kind that are just like this right here. It's just metal on the inside right here, and this one right here has cut some thread for me. Like it's like I'm wrapping, and it ends up cutting it. But what I use it for is wire. So if I'm like wrapping copper wire or whatever on something, works great. Right. If you want just a little short bet, just look for one that's got a little ceramic insert. Little ceramic insert will do just fine, and it won't ever cut your fly tying thread. I mean, like I said, I use the nylon thread. Super cheap, super durable, works great. You can use whatever you want to. There's tons of different types of fly tying threads. Starting out for warm water and salt water, you can go to Walmart and go get it's like a variety pack of different thread colors, and the spools are really small. They're only about like this. There's plenty of thread on it, but you could have a color of thread for any kind of fly you want to tie. Super cheap, super affordable, and for, like I said, warm water and for salt water, it'll do fine. And so you can zazz it up to whatever else you want. That's up to you. Next, you're going to need a bodkin. Like I said, once again, you know, any fly shop should have this. Super cheap. If not, your craft stores will have bodkins, and they're plenty cheap there too. Next, coming in, I have had a lot of different kinds of scissors that I've bought at different craft stores and everywhere else. You can do curved scissors for getting in trimming different hair, like if I'm doing sliders or whatever. Straight scissors. But what I've learned about a lot of these scissors that I bought from the craft stores, even though they work really great on threads and hairs and all that kind of stuff, is when you start getting into synthetic materials, they don't last that long. But for a couple bucks a piece, it doesn't matter. April had me spring for a few extra dollars, and I bought a pair of Orvis scissors. This was the Orvis Bargain brand, and it's cut through the synthetics really well. $7. Not a big deal. Now, we use, for most of our stuff, we use the loon. And the reason we use the loon is because it's non-toxic. Essentially, the kids can get into it, get on their fingers, lick it, who knows what. It won't hurt them. Before that, I've used Zap-A-Gap. I've used straight super glue. You want to use the gel, because if you use the liquid, it will react crazy with your furs. Probably my favorite thing, except for the loon, was Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails, or any other just random clear fingernail polish. I mean, that's all it takes. Super simple. I like to have a good set of Sharpies so I can color stuff. A toothbrush. This is my son's old toothbrush. Helps move streamers around, whatever I need it to do. I mean, you can kind of go through and figure out whatever you need for you. Kind of go from there. I mean, I've got the super glue right here. I've got Zap-A-Gap, clear cure goo, plenty of stuff, whatever you want to do. Now, for the basic materials to start warm water and saltwater fly tying with, you want a good set of hooks. I like the Gamakatsu B10S's, but for years, especially in the college years, I used mustads. And you can get them at Walmart for $1 as a pack of 10. Caught plenty of fish on them. No problem. You're probably only going to want size 8 and up down here. I mean, honestly. That's all you ever need. I mean, size 8 and up. So, kind of pick your hook by what you want to do. Let's see. I think is there anything else really. Oh! And coming back from that, the first things you're really going to want to grab, as far as materials go, just grab a handful of colors for bucktail. Bucktail's about $5 a pop, so kind of have an idea of what you want to tie. Like for me, let's say you're starting out and you want to copy a Zoom Super Flip. White bucktail, $5. Gray bucktail, $5. Okay, so you got $10 right there. Alright. You're going to want some flash. You could just do Pearl Flashaboo. Will work fantastically. $3. Alright. Pearl will do fine. You can throw some gold in there. Whatever you want. And then after that, some that last one. So, and with this bucktail, you got all your clouser minnows, alright? With the pack of hackle, you've got seducers, you've got deceivers, you got half and halves. You've got a ton of variety of different things you can do, okay? So, let's just say you get 2 packs of hackle and 2 packs of bucktail. I mean, right there off the top of my head, I can think of 5 different patterns you can do. That'll work great for salt water and warm water, okay? That'll get you going. Easy to do, simple, just gives you different profiles, different styles of flies you can tie. I mean, you really don't have to spend a lot of money to get into fly tying, man. I did it all bit by bit, piece by piece, until it became this humongous hodgepodge of stuff I've got right here. But just go. You can look at a pattern online, figure out what you have, what you don't have, and like if you watch our YouTube channel, we slow it down so that you can tie with us. And generally I have a list of materials underneath there, and I don't specify any colors or whatever. I mean, it's whatever you've got available. Just sit down and tie with us. So, I guess to recap, $20 for a vise, maybe $20 in bobbins and scissors, so $40 altogether, and then say $40 in fly tying materials. That includes hooks and all that. You're good to go. I mean, you can tie just about whatever you want to. Another thing you do need to do for warm water and salt water, you're going to want some eyes. The cheapest way to go starting out is the lead painted dumbbell eyes. They're a great way to go. Some cheap stick-on eyes. These stick-on eyes are like super cheap, and you get a ton of them on there. Okay, and you just stick them on, like super glue them on, whatever you do, and then go over them with the heavy cement. You'll do fine. So that's for your deceivers and such. And maybe some bead chain. You know? There's really not a lot you really have to pay to get into. I mean, you can buy the whole kit. They'll have just, a hodgepodge of materials, but you don't have to. You do not have to pay $200 for a vise, okay? You can get a Dynaking, a peak rotary vise. All these vices are, wonderful vices. You can pay $40 for a pair of scissors. You don't have to do it. It shouldn't cost you a fortune to tie flies. It's supposed to save you a little bit of money. And if you're careful, it will. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope y'all have a great weekend, and we'll catch you on the water.